Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Grab yourself a cup of tea and let's talk some boxing. Now AJ versus Usyk, the fight that is going to happen next for AJ. I mean, it hasn't been agreed just yet and it hasn't been officially announced, but I would expect that to be the one that Anthony Joshua takes for his next fight, because obviously he's not going to vacate a world title and lose it without fighting for it in the ring. So I would imagine that that will be the way AJ goes. I mean, I know there is talk of Dillian White, Ruiz, Luis Ortiz, maybe an America fight, but I really don't see that happening. I see Anthony Joshua going for Usyk. So, in light of that, how dangerous is Usyk to AJ? And I guess we could ask the same question about Wilder to Fury. And that is, of course, if we are still pinning any hope on Undisputed happening. Now, as we spent so long hoping for it to happen, I think that it's probably not the best idea to talk about it too much, because that isn't the fight at the moment. That could happen later this year, but nothing is guaranteed. If we look at the fights that are actually happening, AJ Usyk, I mean, it's not actually happening just yet, but there is a deal that is being put together by Eddie Hearn, Alexander Krassyuk, and those behind the scenes of Team AJ and Usyk to try and secure that one next. So, in light of that, that is the fight we have. We know that Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3 is definitely happening. So, is there any chance that Wilder wins? Is there any chance that Usyk wins? And then perhaps there is Undisputed between Usyk and Wilder. How crazy could that be? A turn in the heavyweight division. I mean, there have been plenty of opportunities to make Undisputed before, but all of them have fell at the wayside. None of them have came off. So, at some point, one fighter is going to lose. I mean, Tyson Fury could lose to Wilder. AJ did actually lose to Ruiz, but then had the rematch and regained his world titles. So nothing is guaranteed. They can talk about perhaps having a fight in December, but they cannot ensure that they're going to get past their next opponent. And that is the important thing. Usyk is a dangerous opponent, but we don't really know still what kind of threat he possesses in the heavyweight division. He's had 2 fights, Chaz Witherspoon and Derek Chisora. He didn't look brilliant in either of those 2 fights. He didn't look all that dangerous like he had done down at cruiserweight. And some of the issues could be, maybe he's too small, maybe he doesn't punch hard enough to get the bigger man's respect. I know that when David Haye moved up from cruiserweight, he said that what he had to do was get the bigger man's respect and get it quick. So he had the explosive power to be able to get that respect of his opponent. And that is one thing that I think that Usyk will be found wanting in the heavyweight division. He will have to wear down his opponent. He will have to break them down, take them light. And by that stage, is he still going to be in there with a fearsome puncher like, say, Anthony Joshua? That is the big question. AJ is technically sound, and he does have all of the physical advantages over Oleksandr Usyk, making it very difficult for the smaller man coming up from cruiser to get the respect of the bigger man, especially given he doesn't have that potent punching power like someone like David Haye did have. Now, is there the possibility that he can get respect of Anthony Joshua? Well, he can get it in other ways, by using his angles and his punch variation, but still, I'm just wondering how much of a dent will that put in Anthony Joshua, and how much will that deter him from getting close, working those uppercuts in and body shots as well. You know, I don't actually think against AJ it's actually a problem for him needing to get AJ's respect so much. I think it's important against many other heavyweights, but AJ is a bit different. I believe that AJ will box with him at times, he will work up close at times, he will use his physical advantages, of course, but I do believe it will be more of a standoff between those two. He'll get more that kind of fight than he did against Derek Chisora. That is why styles make fights. So just because he struggled against Chisora and kind of laboured against Witherspoon, that doesn't mean that he's going to have huge difficulties against AJ in the same way, but AJ will present different challenges for Usyk to overcome. The explosive power, the positioning, the height and reach advantage he will have over him. So having said that, I don't think that Usyk needs to go in there and try and get the respect of AJ with his power, because he can't do that anyway, because he's not a big power puncher. He wasn't at cruiserweight, so he's not going to be at heavyweight. We've seen it before in the heavyweight division. I mean, against Chisora he backed him up a few times, he maybe stung him a few times, but that was more Chisora not seeing the shot and perhaps having a little bit of fatigue, and that was the reason why those punches caused that kind of effect. I mean, it was nothing major, we never saw Chisora in big trouble, it was just a shot here and there, stung him, or I guess you could say stunned him, and Chisora was able to recover quite quickly. That will be a big thing in this fight for Usyk, is his endurance. Can he cause problems for AJ going late, even going late in rounds, when the 3 minutes are nearly up? Can he step on the gas? And perhaps when AJ wants to take a breather or needs to get that second wind, because again, he does have the physical advantages, but what that also means is he is likely to get tired quicker due to being the bigger man and carrying the more muscle as well, lactic acid. Those things will play a part in this fight. Now, recently AJ hasn't really shown any signs of getting tired or fatigued too much in fights. He did a little bit in the Kubrat-Pulev fight, but that was because he threw a lot of punches in that third round. And you can see that around 17 stone, he does recover and that fatigue doesn't set in too much when he's at that weight. He is always able to get that second wind after getting tired. That is going to be extremely important in there with Usyk, so I would definitely expect him to come in around 17 stone once again. Because while perhaps Oleksandr Usyk doesn't have the punching power to get the respect of the bigger man, he has the endurance and the ability to continuously put them under pressure to look for mistakes when he starts doing that. So when it gets late, if AJ does start to get tired and starts making mistakes, that is when Usyk will try and capitalize, not early on in the contest, attempting to get too much respect from AJ by going toe to toe and landing big powerful punches. So in that respect, yes, he is dangerous to Anthony Joshua, and just because he's had 2 fights at heavyweight and laboured in both of them, found it quite difficult, styles do make fights, and his style can cause Anthony Joshua problems, but AJ's style can also cause Oleksandr Usyk big problems. Anyway guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, also leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks guys.